Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game Finder. My name is Dave and today we are reviewing a board game called Farlight. Let's do it. Okay, a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Game Salute. Thank you so much for helping the channel grow, really do appreciate it. Now, this is a light game where you are going to be betting against your fellow corporations or your opponents to set out your big built ship out in space to colonize the universe. And that's the theme, but essentially, like I said, you're going to be betting against your opponents, and you have these little chips which are either going to get you ships or material or crew members in order to build up your corporation ships so it can blast off and, you know, pretty much colonize the further reaches of space. But that's essentially just what this game's about. It is a Game Salute game, so I'm expecting the production to be pretty good. And from what I hear, this is a lighter type game. So without further ado, let's show you what's in the box. Then I'll show you how to play and give this game a grade after that. Let's go. Okay, so here's what we got in the box. I put them all in the containers. I'm going to start doing this because it's pretty nice. Now, it has dice. They are small, but they're rounded at the edges, and they have a nice weight to them. So I like them, and I like the two-tone colors. It reminds me of like a peach. Now then you have the cardboard quality. It's pretty decent. It's way above average, I would say, and they're going to stand the test of time. The feel of them is nice and smooth, and that's for all of these cardboard components. Now you do have the ones here for the players, the betting tokens. There are 6 here, though it says it only goes up to 5, though I'm sure you're able to play 6 if you really wanted to. That might bloat the game. But they also have the cards for those respective players in all 6 colors, and then we have the board, which I'll show a little more of. And the main gripe I have is it's a really dark shaded. I like the art, but the colors are just a little bit too dark for me. That would be, I would say, my main gripe with the game. The card quality is super thick. Even though they're fun size cards, they are really thick and they got a good feel to them. Now the bigger cards have cooler art and way more color, so I like that. Now let's get to the how-to portion. Let's go. So this is a game set up for 2 players. Now, if you had more players, you would add more ship cards. Now, essentially, what you're trying to do is get as many victory points over a certain amount of turns until either you trigger the end game by getting the missions or drawing the last ship cards. Whoever has the most points after calculating a lot of different things is the winner of Farlight. How is that done? Well, let me show you. Now, on the beginning of your turn, you will be putting stuff on the board, on cards, or on missions in order to get various things. Now, these are number tokens, and essentially these are your betting currency. You have from 0 to 4, so 1 is a bluff and other ones are higher numbers, and when you want something, you can put multiple tokens on something. But you are going to put higher numbers, or you'll put multiple things down like a 0 or 1 and really bluff somebody out. Other people can, of course, go for the same cards, same area, or same mission. But various things will happen in that scenario. The main thing that you want to do is build up your ship, which is represented by this core here. You have 2 offshoots, and when you get a actual piece here, you will connect it, and then you have whatever it says right here. If it's a lightning, then it happens immediately, or if it's something like this, you have indefinitely. And these are good for actually executing the missions. If it has something up top here, that means how many crew members you have to have in order to pay for this piece, and then you would just replenish the ship space. Other parts right here, and I'm glad this one showed up, because when you have engine space, now these are actually engines, and this is what you're going to be using to actually go on these missions as well. You'll see those representative on these dice. So this needs an engine of 5 or higher to execute it, and then you'd get those points 5. So that's a pretty simple one, low points, but you can execute it. Whenever one of these cards comes out, you roll that many dice, and the numbers on them are just priorities, so it gets the highest number and then it goes down. So that would get 5, 4, and that's how that goes. Now we will resolve this area. Basically, you can go ahead and just pip up one of your pips on your ship's pieces if you have it over there, art right there, or you can get little science pieces if you put somebody here, or you can hire a crew member, or you can throw a crew member out to basically gain one of these green emblems in order to actually get a mission done. Or you can try to get a ship piece. Now we have to resolve this. Now this is a 3 and a 0. Maybe he was trying to bluff at first, but he wanted to make sure that the white guy was not actually beating him, so he put 2 tokens and he would have received this piece. Now the science pieces, they give you a science token every turn, so with that kind of circle, it's reoccurring for every turn. And then yeah, you just replenish. Now the missions are quite simply, like I said before, they ratchet it up in difficulties, but the person who wins will get the first shot at it, and they will get the whole amount of points, and the person next, or anybody who can complete the mission, will get half the points rounded up. So this would be a 4-pointer for the white guy, and for the blue guy it would be a 9-pointer. So that's how you would do missions. And if somebody happens to get the last mission on one of these areas, that will trigger the end of the game. Or like I said, if you draw the last card from this ship deck, you will trigger the end of the game that way. And your score will be ticking up right here, and again, whoever has the highest score at the very end of the game wins. You do have these basically like achievements at the very end. Whoever has the most science points at the very end gets 5-pointerinos. And there are other various things that you'll score as well, but that wasn't all the rules, but that is a basic overview. Now let me give you my thoughts about this game and then give it a grade. Let's go. So that is Farlight. Now I'm giving this game a 71. It's a solid rock game, as I call it, and my socks, yeah, they're still on. They didn't get blown off on this game. It's a space game, but that is a thin veil. It didn't really feel like a space game. The theme actually didn't help it much because, like I said, my main gripe about this game is the art and how dark it is. Though it is pretty art, I just wish it wasn't so vast in shadow. It was upside down the whole time. But beyond that, the production is good. The game is actually fun. I love betting games, and when it's not betting some of your currency that you have to ultimately, you know, accumulate to win the game, I like that. So having a separate bidding currency is good in my book. And the fact that there was this kind of building up your ship. I like building stuff and seeing what it looks like at the very end of the game. That's one of my favorite things about board games. So the fact that that is in here is pretty nice. Now this game scales better when you have more players, I would imagine. I've only played 3, but 2-player game is okay, but there's not much back and forth, and there's more interactivity with the betting phase when there's more players. So I can't wait to play a larger player game, but I can already say, because I've noticed the difference between a 2 and a 3-player game, it's much better when it scales up. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. I liked playing it, and it's something that I might come back to, though I felt the space theme in these type of games better in other type games, but for what this does, it accomplishes it. And it's a solid game that you're going to keep in the collection and possibly get a few plays from it, but nothing that's going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to have Farlight on my table right now. Though it is a good filler game. Best thing about this game, in my opinion, is that it's really easy to teach, and for a kind of bidding and kind of building up worker kind of placement game, it's fast too. So I would recommend this for like actually a gateway game, something that allows an initial kind of gamer to learn the betting and or building up tiles of your tableau kind of game. So that's what I recommend it for. Very light kind of game, but very cool, and production isn't too bad. So thank you so much again, Game Salute, for providing us with this copy, and thank you so much, Fine Nation, for tuning in on this review. If you like it, click like and subscribe if you're new, and if you don't like it, click dislike and let me know in the comments below why you don't, and I'll make my future videos even better, because your cooperation really does help me. So until next time, I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all you play. I'm Dave, out everybody. Bye. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.